Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Leanne, the Kiwi Yogi, and today we are going to go through a beautiful, juicy yin practice. I'm in the comfort of my own home, in my own bedroom on the floor, so make sure that you grab your mat, anything you need to stay comfy, and we'll get started. Alright, so starting nice and comfortable, seated on your mat. Feel free to sit in a chair if you've got it nearby. We're just going to start with a nice comfortable seated meditation for a couple of minutes where you can just really drop into the space of your body and into the space of your practice. So today's practice is going to be working on opening up through front of body, the shoulders, and just allowing ourselves to stand a little taller and breathe a little fuller. So when you're ready, just coming to a nice comfortable seated position. Take some time to really ground down through the sit bones and lengthen through the spine. Just start to close down your eyes. Just notice the breath as it moves in and out of the body without adjusting or modifying it in any way. Just allow the breath to flow naturally. Try to soften through the shoulders, soften through the knees. Let them fall toward the floor. Watch the breath as it travels down into the lungs, coming in through both nostrils. So ideally you want this through the nostrils. If you're a little congested, then just taking whatever modifications you need to breathe in this practice. And then we're going to start to lengthen the breath, just mindfully deepening the breath by taking the next inhalation a little longer in through the nose and down into the back of the throat. Watch the breath as it expands out into the lungs and direct it down into the belly. Take the full breath into the belly balloon up. And as you exhale, draw the belly in towards the spine. Allow the lungs to decompress. The breath traveling out through the throat and out through both nostrils evenly. Let's take about 10 rounds here. Breathing consciously, deeply into the body, allowing the breath to connect with the body and mind to connect with the body. As you breathe deep, start to notice any shifts happening in the body. Any tension starting to release. Remembering your practice of yin, it's all about softness, all about surrender. So taking this time to really surrender your thoughts, surrender the activities of your day, and just fully let it go. Taking your final few breaths here, nice, long, smooth breaths in, long, smooth breaths out. And for your final breath, take an extra long, deep breath in. And as you exhale, open the mouth in a big sigh out. Take your hands to your heart center, thumbs point back towards the heart, palms pressed together, fingertips touch. Take the elbows wide, and it's here that we start and set our sankalpa, our intention or our heart's desire for our practice today. Just taking a mindful practice, allowing what you need to come into focus, draw it in. This could be one word, a short sentence, or a mantra, something you wish to cultivate. Once you have it, breathe it into your body as you inhale. And as you exhale, release any resistance around it out. Slowly release the hands, gently open the eyes. And we're going to make our way back into child's pose, into a nice, comfortable, extended child's pose. So for this one, come to the back of your mat, take the big toes to touch and the knees nice and wide. Sit the bottom back towards the heels as you lengthen your fingers forward and relax the forehead down. Breathe all the way down into the belly, and as you exhale, soften the chest down. So staying in your child's pose for about a few minutes here, allowing yourself to arrive. Take a few moments to settle, get all the fidgets out, and then just rest the forehead down. And if the forehead doesn't quite make it to the floor, simply going to bring the floor up to you by placing a block or a cushion underneath the forehead. Keep sinking the bottom back towards the heels, and allow the arms to become soft here. Close down your eyes, and just allow the breath to nurture you. Just listening to the soft, flowing, audible sound of the breath flowing in and out of the nose. And notice your body as it begins to soften. Stay present, guided by the breath. Try not to fidget or move, and just allow the breath to flow. Feel the breath expand down into the belly as you inhale, ballooning up between the thighs. And then feel the torso soften as you exhale, taking the full breath out. Where can you soften a little more in your body? Where can you let go? And it's from here we're going to slowly transition into a puppy pose and Hastasana. So from here you're going to press through the palms. You're going to rise on up slowly, slowly. And then from here draw your knees in underneath your hips. And making sure you've got space ahead of you. Walk your hands forward towards the top corners of your mat. Keep your hips up above your knees and just soften the forehead back down. So Hastasana is puppy pose, allowing a deeper stretch through the front of your body. Try to relax through the lower legs, but a gentle pressure as you push the knees down into the floor, the hips vertically to the floor. And then just allowing the heart to melt down into the mat, opening through the front of the chest, drawing and squeezing gently the shoulder blades in towards each other. Feeling a stretch through the armpits, the inner arms, and the front of the chest. Close down your eyes here and settle into stillness. Try to keep the back of the neck nice and long. Try not to compress it down, opening through the heart, surrender the collarbones down. Beautiful. From here, just slowly start to walk your hands in. Press your bottom back towards your heels. Come back to child's pose for a moment. Rest the forehead down. And then from here, we're going to just lift our forehead. We're going to creep our fingers forward once more. And we're going to come down onto the belly. So we're going to come down into a Sphinx pose. So Sphinx, you ideally want to have the elbows beneath the shoulders and lengthen the legs a little bit longer. Have the forearms parallel to each other. Create space through the lower back and the sacrum by taking the feet a little wider and start to draw the heart forward. Try to relax through the glutes, gazing forward. Peel the collarbones broad. Lengthen through the neck. Try to shuffle the shoulder blades down the spine. Allow the breath to massage all the way down into the belly. Feeling the belly expand into the floor. Soften through the feet and the knees. And continue the breath here, releasing through your lower back. So releasing the lower back. Soften the muscles through the legs, the glutes. Let go of the squeeze. And then we'll close down our eyes here for just a minute or so. Keep broadening through the collarbones, opening through the heart. This looks different for everyone. Breathing into the space. Keep pressing the shoulders back toward the hips, even the front of the body open. Notice sensations as they creep in. Start to soften, allowing the heart to surrender forward and down. Take your elbows wide, fingers point in towards each other, and just rest the forehead down. Allow the back of the body to soften to the front of the body. Gentle wiggle through the hips to release the lower back. Now we're going to come through seal. So from here, we're going to take our arms wide of the mat, fingers spread nice and wide. Now you can cup the fingers and come up onto the fingertips here if you like. So I'll just show you a little closer. So coming onto the fingertips, and from here we're just going to inhale, press through the fingertips and open through the heart, lifting and opening. Now option here to release the palms down into the floor. We don't want to put too much pressure into the fingertips here, but we want to open through the heart. You're just releasing that lower back again, a little deeper. Now the more that you slide your hands back towards the hips, the higher you can come up through the chest and deeper release through the lower back. If you're getting any pain here, then back it off, slide the fingers forward, come down, or just take the Sphinx pose once more. Keep broadening through the collarbones, micro bending through the elbows so you're not locking them out. Just gently gazing forward, keeping the spine long. Soften through the legs a little more. Tops of feet just gently resting to the floor. Breathe all the way into the belly. This time the belly may not be on the floor, but you can feel the breath go all the way down to the pelvis, to the pubic bone. The breath expand all the way down. And as you exhale, open through the chest and release the breath out. just take 5 more breaths here. Breathing all the way into the belly. Releasing the full breath out. Keep pressing the shoulders toward the hips for your final few breaths. And then gently opening your eyes, slowly bend your elbows, lowering down the front of the body, slowly back to the floor. Resting the forehead down. Once again, take the palms, fingers point in towards each other, palms facing down, elbows wide. Let the back of the neck go. Soften through the shoulders and release through the neck. I'm going to come through some shoulder openers. From here, I'm just going to draw my arms into cactus arms. So elbows in line with the shoulders, palms facing down. Okay, so one line, that L shape through the elbow, gazing down toward the floor. Rest the forehead down. And then from here, I'm going to pick up my right leg, take my right fingertips down into the floor, and just slowly take my right leg up and over behind my left. Keep my left ear down to the floor. Walk my right hand in. So I'm keeping the front of my left shoulder down into the mat. And the more that you draw that foot back and behind and you lift your chest open toward the right, the more intense the stretch becomes. So you're breathing into the front of the left pectoral muscle here and the front of the shoulder. So the right toes are just resting down. If you can take the sole of the foot down to the floor and just start to close down your eyes. You'll start to feel sensations through the front of the shoulder. And remember, if it becomes too much, just roll the torso back toward the floor slightly. But as you open the chest up toward the right, and go a little deeper. Keep the neck nice and long, breathing all the way in. And the full breath out. So you want to keep the shoulders away from the ears. Try not to let them creep up toward the ears. And breathing into the belly. And then from here we're going to slowly release. We're going to come back over onto the belly. Slowly release, take that arm back into a cactus arm, release the forehead down. So we're just going to simply change sides from here. So keeping the right hand down now, take the left fingertips up onto, in line with the left shoulder really. Keeping the right ear down to the floor this time. We're going to pick up the left leg and slide it over behind the right. So you'll see the sole of the foot comes down into the floor. I can walk my left fingers in closer if I like, and I've got the stretch through the front of my right shoulder now, the pectoral muscle, keeping my right ear to the mat so I'm not straining the neck. So this can be quite intense for some people. They might not come over very far, but just gently rolling, opening toward the left, lifting the left shoulder up away from the mat. Continue to breathe all the way into the belly, opening through the chest, breathing, softening, full breath. Final few breaths here. Just your final few breaths here. And then slowly start to release, taking the left hand a little wider, releasing the left leg back over, rolling onto your belly. Take the forehead to the floor, take your arms alongside the body with the palms to face up. Allow the shoulders to roll forward. Relaxing through the legs, tops of feet, backs of hands. And from here we're just going to come into a gentle bow. It's completely optional if you like. You can stay resting on the floor, otherwise you're going to bend one knee, taking the foot in towards the bottom, followed by the other. So you can keep hold of the outside of the feet here, or you can draw the hands to the inside if the chest is nice and open. From here, gazing down to the floor, lengthen the spine long. Start to squeeze the bottom, start to kick the toes up off the floor, opening through the heart. You don't have to come up too far here. Breathing, opening through the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades in towards each other, pointing through the toes. Lift up through the chest a little more. Breathe all the way into the belly. One more breath. And exhale, release slowly over. Take the hands to the floor, tucking the toes. Going to press back super slow into your child's pose. So drawing the knees to the center of your mat, take them wide, big toes to touch, and sit the bottom back toward the heels, walk the fingers forward. Just take about 3 breaths here in your child's pose, resting down. Just releasing through the lower back, breathing all the way into the belly. And when you're ready, just slowly rising on up. And then from here, just going to cross the ankles and you're going to roll back onto your bottom at the back of the mat. Extend the legs forward. Coming to the center of your mat. Alright, let's sit up nice and tall. So from here, we're just going to simply draw the left heel in towards the body, taking the sole of foot to the floor. Alright. And then from there, we're just going to take the foot over top of the right thigh and just sit up nice and tall. So if you can keep the big toe down into the floor, otherwise we're just going to start to work the foot to the outside of the right hip. So outside of the right hip, drawing it in and wide. Let the left knee descend down towards the mat. All right, so you can relax through the bottom right leg and foot. Relax the toes away. We're going to come into Gomukhasana, which is our cow face arms here, opening through the chest as we soften through the hips. So for this one, we're going to take our left hand toward the sky. We're going to take our right arm out towards the right. Then take the right arm back and behind you, bending the elbow. You're going to creep that hand up the back of the body. Okay, so from here, you basically want the hands to come in towards each other, either holding on to the fingers or the clothing, just so you can open through front of chest. So ideally, you want it to look like this from the front. Keep drawing that elbow down and opening through the chest. Breathe. And as your right shoulder draws down, I'm just going to drop the left ear over toward the left, just so slightly. Little stretch, keep dropping the right shoulder down. Full breath in. Long exhale out. Don't worry if you can't keep the bind the whole time. You want to keep just drawing the arms in towards each other, fingertips in towards each other. Now you can stay here if you like, or for the next 5 to 10 breaths, we're going to fold forward. So if you've got hold of the clothing, you're just going to start to hinge forward from the hips and start to fold toward that top knee. Keep drawing that left hand down the spine. Keep reaching the right hand up, pulling and peeling open through the right shoulder. Soften and surrender in your yin. Continue to breathe all the way down into the belly. Opening through the shoulders, stretching through the backs of the legs. Let's just take 2 more breaths, everyone. And after your final exhale, you're going to inhale slowly, rise on up, all the way back to seated. And then slowly releasing the hands, take your arms wide. Open through the chest, palms face forward. And then release the hands down. Open through the heart, lift the sternum, lift the chin slightly, draw the belly in. Rocking back onto your bottom, uncross the left leg and extend the leg forward. Alright, let's change sides from here. Stretching, opening up. So from here, draw the right foot in towards the bottom, right heel draws in. And then as you did on the other side, you're just going to take the same option, taking the foot to the outside of the left leg. Relax through the left toes, and either staying here or drawing the foot to the outside of your left hip. Drawing the foot in. Let the top knee surrender down to the floor, sitting up nice and tall through the spine. We're going to come into the shoulder stretch on the other side. So this time, extending the right arm up, and then bending the elbow, taking the hand down the spine. And left arm comes out wide, bending the elbow and sweeping the hand back and behind you. So you're creeping the left hand up towards the right fingertips, taking hold of the bind if you like, staying nice and tall. Breathing all the way into the belly, opening through the chest. So you feel the front of the left shoulder opening and stretching down the right side of the ribs. Breathe. And just start to drop your head over toward the right as you lengthen the left shoulder toward the floor. So dropping that left shoulder down, stretching through side of the neck. Slowly come back up, and we're going to fold forward. If that's where you were taking this option on this side, it's just folding forward, hinging from the hips, surrendering over. Keeping hold of the bind if you can. If you need to release, just taking hold of the clothing and just surrendering the forehead down. Keep drawing the front of the left shoulder back and drawing the right elbow up. So reaching the fingers back in towards each other. Taking now 5 to 10 breaths here, allowing everything to slow down and lengthen out. Try to find a little bit of softness. If you feel tension creeping into the parts of the body, try to allow a little bit more surrender. Let's take a few more breaths here. Super slow breaths. And after your final exhale, you're going to inhale, slowly rise on up with control. Nice and tall through the spine. Then from here, slowly releasing the arms. Woo! Take your arms wide, and then from here, just taking the hands to the floor behind you, open through the heart, lift the chin, the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades in towards each other, feel the collarbones broaden. Nice. Rolling the weight back into your bottom, uncross the right leg now and extend it forward. So from here, we're just going to come into a nice caterpillar, a nice rounding of the spine just for a few minutes. So nice and simply, keep the legs extending forward, micro bend through the knees if you need to, but ultimately we do want to try and straighten through the legs, pop a little cushion in underneath the knees to relieve the pressure. And then take the back of the hands to the floor, palms to face up, and just allow the body to fold over. Let the head hang down, releasing through the upper back and neck, and close down your eyes. Breathe fully into the belly. Let the belly expand and balloon up with your inhale. And as you exhale, just release the breath fully. Every part of that breath out through the nostrils. With time, your body starts to sink a little deeper, starts to soften a little more. There's no need to pull yourself into this, it's just a surrender. Letting go, fully breathing, staying present with the breath. Feel the stretch travel not just from your upper back now, but notice as it continues down through your mid-back toward the hips. So letting gravity surrender everything over, fully releasing through the neck. When you're ready, just slowly start to rise back on up, super slow. The last thing to lift should be the head. It's allowing the blood releasing through the neck. So from here, just start to draw the soles of feet in towards each other and take the knees nice and wide. So we're going to take Baddha Konasana from here, or butterfly pose. So butterfly pose is just a nice deep hip stretch. Okay, so from here we just want to start to surrender forward. So take the back of the hands to the floor, and you can keep the soles of feet pressing together. We just want to simply surrender over and let the head hang down. Let the head hang down toward the feet. Let the inner groin open, soften. And once again, the weight of the head's pulling on the spine, releasing the pressure through the shoulders and the upper neck. Allow the breath to just flow smoothly and softly Allow the weight of the knees to surrender. Let them yield beneath the gravity. Let them yield beneath the force of gravity. Surrendering. Don't worry if you don't feel as much in certain positions. It doesn't mean that nothing is happening. It means everything on a deeper level is happening. We're moving past the physical parts of the body, the resistance in the mind, and we're going a little deeper. Let's take a few more breaths here. Letting go. And then from there, just slowly start to rise back on up. Super slow. From here, draw the knees in towards each other and take the hands back and behind you. Extend the legs long. Open through the heart. Nice. Just a gentle release. And then from here, just making sure you're in the center of your mat once more. And if you have it handy, we're going to come down into a reclined position. Okay, and then we'll get into some twists. So if you do have a block handy, taking one of your blocks and you're going to place it underneath the chest and we're going to lay back over the block. If you don't have a block, then you can just use a book or a cushion, a rolled up towel, anything that can go lengthways between the shoulder blades to lay back onto. So once you have that, then you're just going to simply roll back and recline over the block. Make sure that the block is in the center of your back. It's not too high and it's not higher than the shoulders. Okay, so just let the head rest back and over. Now, if this is quite easy and open through the front of the chest, you do have the option to take it up onto the higher side and then you'll get more opening through the front. So just making sure it's along the spine, laying over, surrendering the head down. So making sure the head can come to meet the floor and making sure that your shoulders open up through the front of the body. Take your arms wide, palms face up, and just gently close down your eyes. Continue the breath all the way into the belly, soften through the lower ribs, and let the chest just peel open. Feel the weight of the hips sinking down into the mat. Feel the flesh of the buttocks spreading, the legs softening. Adjusting yourself so that you can find stillness in this space. Continue to breathe all the way into the belly. Notice if tension creeps into any areas of the body. Just taking your attention there and releasing it with your breath, with your mind fully. Slowly from here, we're just going to roll over to one side, Popping your towel or your block or your blanket or your cushion out from underneath you, and then laying on your back. Okay. So just taking the arms alongside the body, just take a moment here to rest the body down. Feeling the whole back of the body connect to the floor. Just going to slowly start to draw the left knee in towards the chest. Hands at top of the shin, draw the knee in. Relax the shoulders away from the ears, broaden through the collarbones. I'm going to come into our supine twist from here. So you're going to take the right hand over the outside of the left knee, take your left arm wide, palm facing down, and then twisting from the belly button down, you're going to draw the knee all the way over to the right. Now that left shoulder might want to lift slightly as it comes over. That's okay initially, and then we just want to let the shoulder relax down. The knee can lift slightly and just release the palm to face up. So we're twisting through the belly, a nice deep stretch and twist for the side of body, massaging the internal organs as we breathe in and as we breathe out. Close down your eyes if you haven't already. And continue the breath. If you want to take the stretch a little deeper, you can take your face in the opposite direction of the top knee and settle the back of the body to the floor. So ideally you want both shoulder blades on the floor. Make the adjustments if they're not quite there. Twisting through the spine. Take another 5 long deep breaths here. 5 more breaths. Try to soften the tension through the hips, the shoulders, the entire torso between. Even being aware of the breath as it moves down into the toes and out toward the fingers. And then when you're ready, slowly begin to turn your head back to center. And then slowly draw the top knee back up to center. Rolling back onto the spine. Release the left leg long. Making sure you're at the center of your mat once more. Arms alongside the body. Releasing through the lower limbs. Let's come straight onto the other side as we draw the right knee in towards the chest. Hands at top of the shin. Draw the knee in. Keep the spine nice and long. Shoulder blades relaxing down. Head resting to the floor. And then we'll come on to the other side. So you're going to take your left hand to the outside of the right knee. The right arm nice and wide. The palm facing down. And then from here, twisting from the belly button down. Keep the right shoulder pressing down as the knee comes over toward the left. So let the toes rest down to the floor if the knee doesn't quite rest. And you'll feel the stretch through the outside of the hips. Just adjust your body so you can surrender over. Releasing all the way down. If you did so on the other side, you can turn your face in the opposite direction of the knee and close down your eyes. Keep the shoulder blades relaxing down, away from the ears, so shrug them away. Breathe all the way into the belly. Notice as the tension creeps in. Notice when you lose focus of the breath. Draw your attention back, slowly releasing. Try to relax through the upper shoulders, upper torso. Let go. Let's take 5 more breaths here. 5 final breaths. Really breathing all the way into the belly. And releasing the whole breath out. Slowly start to turn your head back to center. And slowly releasing the left hand, draw the right knee back to center. Hug the knee to the chest. And then slowly release the right leg long, lengthening the whole back of the body to the floor. So palms facing up, take your feet a little wider. We're coming into our final posture for your yin practice today, which is our shavasana. So if you have your eye pillow, just grabbing your eye pillow and popping it on your eyes. Placing the eye pillow down allows the eyelids to rest heavy and allows yourself to completely immerse yourself in this relaxation, in this meditation. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, shuffle them down toward the hips, rolling shoulder blades in underneath the body. And making sure the spine is long. Feet are hip width apart with the toes rolling away from each other. Closing down your eyes if you haven't already. Letting the breath become soft and smooth, relaxing down. Taking your time in your shavasana to really just let go. Allowing your thoughts to just disperse as they arise. So don't worry if the thoughts come in, stories or your to-do lists. We really just want to let go of those stories as they arise and keep your focus on softening through the body and the gentle rhythm of your breath flowing in and out. Allow the weight of the body to become heavy, sinking into the mat piece by piece, breath by breath, settling into stillness, letting go. I will gently bring you out of your shavasana when it's time. So just bring this. Just super slowly starting to bring your attention back to the space inside the room. Just hearing the sound of my voice as it comes back in. And then just moving your attention to the other sounds in the room closest to you. Or perhaps sounds outside the room a little further away. Moving from sound to sound as you hear them. Slowly start to awaken the body. Waken it up by gently wiggling through the fingers, through the toes. Maybe you want to roll through the wrists, stretch through the ankles. And if you like, just take your arms up and overhead. Reach through the fingers, point through the toes. Take a full body yawn. And relax the body down, gently opening your eyes. Allowing the light and the space back in. Feel free from here to hug the knees towards the chest, releasing your lower back any way that serves you. And then from here you can either stay laying for an extra moment, take your time in coming back up to a seated position. If you choose to stay laying on your back, or when you're into your seated position. From here, just take your hands to your heart center, palms pressed together, elbows come wide, in Anjali Mudra. Just taking this time to acknowledge and have gratitude for the practice, to go in a little deeper, a little slower. It's exploring the body and deepening the breath. Thank you for joining me in today's practice. To end our practice, just gently bow the forehead toward the fingers. And as together we say, Namaste. I hope you enjoyed your practice today. You feel a little more open through the chest, the shoulders. Take it nice and easy. There's no need to rush. Feel free to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on future classes released. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your day.